You know that classic movie scene, right? The hero's running through the jungle, takes one wrong step, and bam, they start sinking into the ground. QuickSand. It's like the ultimate cinematic death trap. But how much of that Hollywood horror is actually real? Well, let's dig in and break down the science. So let's ask the big question right up front. If it happens to you, can you survive it? Well, first, let's look at what the movies have been telling us for decades. And yeah, according to basically every action and adventure film ever made, the answer is a big, fat no. Once you step in, it's pretty much game over. You're done for. I mean, you know the drill. There's that one wrong step, a moment of sheer panic, and then this desperate struggle that only seems to pull you down faster and faster. Until, poof, nothing's left but maybe a floating hat. It's dramatic, it's terrifying, and it's totally burned into our brains as fact. Okay, but is that really how it goes down when you step off solid ground? It's time to separate that Hollywood fiction from the actual, and honestly, kind of surprising physics.
To really get it, we have to look at what QuickSand is. Because the science behind getting stuck is, trust me, way more interesting than you might think.
Okay, here comes a bit of a fancy term. Quicksand is what's called a non-Newtonian fluid. Now, all that really means is that it's a substance that completely changes its behavior depending on how much pressure you put on it. It's this really delicate mix of fine sand, a little bit of clay, and water. A great way to picture it is to think of a super fragile house of cards made out of sand grains, with water filling in all the empty spaces. It looks solid, but it's actually incredibly unstable. And this is where something called the wall of water effect comes in. And it's where your instincts completely betray you. If you move slowly, I mean really slowly, you give that sand and water mix time to just kind of flow around you. But the second you panic, the second you start flailing around and applying fast pressure, you're basically squeezing all that water out. And what's left is this dense, solid block of sand that grabs on and locks you in place. So get this, struggling literally makes you more stuck. Okay, so we've established that struggling is the absolute worst thing you can do. It locks you in tight. But that brings us right back to that classic Hollywood ending. Once you're stuck, you're going to sink all the way to the bottom, right? And this is the part where real science completely flips the script on everything Hollywood has ever taught us about quicksand. That's right. It is physically impossible for a human being to be completely swallowed by quicksand. You don't sink. You actually float. And the reason why is actually super simple. It all comes down to density. See, the human body is roughly as dense as water, but quicksand, it's more than twice as dense as we are. And, basic physics says a less dense object is always going to float in a denser fluid. It's just how it works. So while you will sink, probably to about your waist, and you will get very, very stuck, you simply cannot be pulled all the way under. The laws of physics just won't let it happen.
So if the sand isn't